Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm here with my buddy Aiden and his M4. In this video, we're going to compare the M2 to the M4 and just kind of see the differences. Then afterwards, which will be in a separate video, we're going to take these cars to Mexico and see what happens. So let's first start off in the front. Let me know what you guys think of the styling on both. Aiden, what are your thoughts on like the styling on the M4 versus the M2? Do you like that better? And if you do, why?
I think the front end on the M4 looks far more aggressive, and I just like the back end of the M4 a lot more. But overall, the M2 looks cool, and it has those wider looking haunches. It has those side skirts that kind of stick out, but I do think the M4 is
gotcha. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm still one of those guys that's not over the grill yet, so so at least I have like a normal size grill, but I do really like the M3 and the M4 front end. It's just that this one was more towards my liking. Let's go ahead and go down the sides here. So actually the wheel and tire setup are pretty similar on both. They both have two 75s in the front and two 85s in the rear, 19-inch front, 20-inch rear. So actually the wheel and tire setup is exactly the same. The M4 does have a cool badge on the side, whereas the M2 does not. So I kind of wish that they had like that cool little vent on the side there. Mirrors look the same on both. They both have the M mirrors with the little extra wing on them. Yeah, the wing tips. The M2 has the updated door handles with the slide instead of the actual physical door handle. So that's a little change that they did there. Coming to the back, see the M2 has that nice like wide rear end right there. The M4 also has a nice wide rear end, but I feel like the M2 is a little bit more like bubbly. Let's go and go to the rear end here.
Sorry everybody, I have proximity unlock and lock set up.
Yeah, I turned that off on my so looking at the rear end, in my opinion, I think the M4 looks better in the rear. It just has a little bit more of a, I don't know, a little bit more of an even, smooth look, whereas the M2 is a little, I don't know, it just looks a little weird in the rear.
Yeah.
But I think it looks fine. It's just, I think the M4 just looks better, is basically what I'm saying. Both have the quad tip exhaust. We both have the shadow line package, so we have the black exhaust tips. He has the black exhaust tips as well. By the way, guys, this is an M4 Competition xDrive. We both have the carbon roof, but on the M4, it's standard. On the M2, it's an option. But let's go ahead and check out the interior now. All right, guys, checking out the M2's interior. We have a kind of a hard touch type plastic right here. Like, it's not super hard like the plastic that's on the door sill, but it doesn't have much give to it. So the M4 does have a better door sill. We'll check that out in just a second. Got the little like vinyl or Vernasca leather, whatever it is right here. Probably vinyl, I'd assume, because they use Vernasca leather on the actual seats, but I don't know about like on the sides here and stuff. I have the little M badges, or I should say the M colors right here. We both have memory seats. All this stuff is pretty much the same on both. Looking at the seats, the design is very similar, but the M3 and M4 models come with merino leather, which is a little bit of a nicer leather. The Vernasca is a little bit more like a coarse leather, and the merino is more of a smooth, more premium type leather. So if you guys value leather, definitely the M4 is the way to go. But this one is really nice. It's just that the M4 is better. Looking at the floor here, this is all exactly the same. However, one thing a lot of people might not notice though is that the carpet in the M2 is actually kind of like cheap carpet. It's kind of hard and not very like plush. The M4 is a lot more plush. We'll check that out in just a bit. Let's go ahead and hop inside here. So looking at the interior, his is a 2022, so his doesn't have the LCI screens yet. But as far as the interior, the design itself looks pretty much exactly the same. Like I said, obviously aside from the screens. But this area is pretty much all the same on both. I have the carbon fiber trim. You have the carbon fiber too, right? Yeah. Yeah, so we both have the carbon fiber trim, both have the same paddle shifters. We both have the M1, M2 modes. The steering wheel is exactly the same. So interior wise, it is pretty much the same, but the materials on the M4 is slightly nicer. Like on my dash, it's a little bit soft touch, but I think the M4 is nicer. So let's go ahead and check that out. All right, let's go ahead and check out the M4. So like I said, I see a physical door handle. I see you got your key in the seat. Keys are the same, by the way, on both cars. So the key's the same. But right off the bat, the M4 has a little bit nicer materials up here. Like it's a lot more soft. Right here, this is the nice merino leather, whereas I have like the Vernasca leather. So this leather feels a lot smoother, a lot nicer. The design is very similar here as far as like the seat controls and all that. He does have the M carbon bucket seats, but the standard M4 without the carbon bucket seats do come with regular seats, just like my M2. They're just finished in merino leather instead. This part is all the same, the lower panels and all that. His lower panel here feels pretty much the same as mine, but like I mentioned earlier, the carpet's a lot nicer in this one. It's a lot more premium carpet. Steering wheel's still the same. He has the pre-LCI screens. In 2024 is when they gave the M4 the LCI screens. Carbon fiber, all that stuff is all the same. Both have heated seats. However, on the M4 you have the option to get cooled seats, whereas on the M2 you don't. And then also on the M4 you have the option to get the full merino leather, which will have the leather on the top of the door sill and also the top of the dashboard as well.
And under the
oh yeah, and under this part too. Yeah. Yep. So that's basically the differences on the inside. They're pretty much the same other than the leather and like the carpet and some of the finishes, but it's pretty much the same as far as like the design and everything like that. And the space feels pretty much the same on the front. Now the back of the M4 is a little bit better as far as like space is concerned, so let's go and check that out. All right guys, checking out the back seat of the M4. It's still finished in the nice merino leather. It does have its own climate control in the back, so that's one thing that the M2 does not have. But the M2 also has the vents.
I think there's more merino leather back there than there is up front.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of leather. Yeah, it's all on the side. It's right here. So that's really nice. Let's go ahead and check out the M2 and see if it's similar. All right, guys, we're in the M2 now, so let's go ahead and check out the back seat of the M2.
Oh, yeah, yours does it too. It slides forward.
Yep. No carbon bucket seats, but that is an option on M2s, by the way. So if you want merino leather on at least the seat itself, you have to get the $10,000 carbon fiber package. But yeah, I know, really expensive. But checking out the back here, we have all the Vernasca leather back here. It goes on the side as well, so it's actually similar to the M4 in that regard. Hard touch plastic on the door sills and stuff in the back. I think the M4 was a little bit nicer. And then
You get cup holders.
oh yeah, wait.
I don't have cup holders.
Yours doesn't have that little bin back there, does it? Okay.
It's just leather.
Well, I get a nice little bin right there. And then no climate control in the back, but you do have the air vents. And also no USB ports. So actually the M4 has USB-Cs in the back and this one does not. So that's one thing I just found out today. And then I have the M seat belts, which is pretty cool. Also available on the M4 as well.
That's what I have.
Just pop the hood on both cars here. Let's go and check out the M2 first. So as you guys know, the 2023 and newer, or I should say the G87 M2 comes with the S58 engine. So twin turbo inline six, and this one 453 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. If you want a manual transmission, you can get it in the M2, but I chose the 8-speed automatic, which I think is the best option. Let's go over here to the M4.
Same thing.
If you guys don't know, M4 Competition, it's only 8-speed auto. You can't get a manual unless you get a base M4. Same exact engine, S58. This one's just tuned to put out 503 horsepower, and the torque is significantly more at 479. All right, guys, and last but not least, let's go ahead and check out the trunk. So let's do the M2 first. Manual trunk, there's no... Wow, okay, I see how it is. Manual trunk on the M2. You cannot get an automatic trunk even if you get it fully loaded. You can see here, decent amount of trunk space. It's not too bad. Some hard carpet and stuff in here. Let's go ahead and check out the M4's trunk. So the M4 does have the option to get a power trunk, which is really nice, obviously. Carpet looks to be the same as mine, and actually the space looks to be the same too.
It's about the same. I think
That's
it's
interesting.
around. I think it's around 10 cubic feet or something like that. I couldn't tell you exactly. I've never looked it up because I never cared. But it's about the same.
So it looks like it's just the back seat legroom is where, because it's 8 inches longer. So it looks like the so it looks like the back seat legroom is where they added the extra room.
Yeah, that length is all in the back seat. Up front, it's the same. Trunk's the same. It's all in the back. But that also means when I drove this from Texas, it wasn't hard to put things in the back of the car. The car is actually decently practical for being a coupe. It's better than something like a Mustang.
Yeah.
This is what I'd say a Mustang is more like.
Which is funny because this is the same size as a Mustang,
Yeah.
like lengthwise. And this is 180 inches. This is around 188 inches. And this feels more similar to like a Mustang space-wise. It actually feels really good in the front and everything.
Roof, I think the roof
But this
comes
one,
back, the angle on the roof isn't as sloped down, so it comes back and leads into the trunk.
Yeah, it's a little bit longer. Like, you can definitely tell,
yeah.
like look at the distance between the front door and the end of the car compared to this one. It's definitely a lot longer in the back.
Well, and see how
so you can kind of see how it's a little bit longer.
Your back glass comes down at a sharper angle versus this one kind of slopes into the trunk versus yours just kind of
that is interesting.
Stops.
That is very interesting.
That's what I think the back seat room is caused by. But 8 inches is, you know, of course you're gonna have a better back seat.
This car, brand new, if you were to spec it out 2024 the same way it is now, it's like what, 97 grand?
It's 97,500, I believe, to get everything. You're paying 97,500 new in 2022. When I bought the window sticker, it was 87,000 is what its new price was. I bought it for 82 with 7,000 miles on it.
Okay.
But it's nice to know that I basically have the same car, minus the screens.
Yeah.
I bought it for $15,000 less with only 7,000 miles on it. And I drove it back from Texas. It's a 1,300 mile drive. I didn't have a single problem with it once. And it gets decent gas mileage. It's like 23 miles a gallon on the highway. Or average is 23.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because highway should be a little bit higher.
Highway is higher. Average throughout my entire day, it's like 23 miles per gallon.
I was getting like mid-upper 20s driving that back from California, so.
That's probably what this one gets. So I think if you don't care about the screens, definitely buy a used one. They're not worth 100 grand. They definitely are not worth 100 grand.
Yeah, I think that's a little pricey. That's why like I was considering the M3, which is obviously not a coupe like this, but they're a little bit more expensive, or I should say a lot a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
Because this one is pretty much like fully optioned out aside from the adaptive cruise control and the carbon package, but it has pretty much everything else, like the lighting package, the carbon roof, has all that stuff. And this one, stickers for $70,995, a 2024 brand new, and this one, if it was brand new, would be $97,000. So I want you guys to kind of decide, like, do you think if it's like, if you bought a new one, do you think it's worth $27,000 over an M2?
No, which is why I am a huge advocate for you buy a used one.
Yeah.
Don't buy a new one. I'm not a huge believer in buying new cars. Jacob, behind the camera, loves his new cars.
Yes, I love new cars.
I've never owned a new car. I don't like the 20% depreciation, 15% depreciation you get the second you drive off the lot and it's titled.
Yep.
I don't like that.
That is true. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little comparison here. Stay tuned for the next video when we take these two cars to Mexico and see how they perform, and see if it's 20, or I mean, you bought your pre-owned, but see if it's $27,000 performance difference. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know which one you'd pick and why, and I will see you guys in the next video.